It was a chilly autumn morning, and the smell of fresh bread and warm pastries filled the air of a small, cozy bakery. Behind the large glass window, a young boy, who couldn't have been more than 10 years old, stood shivering in his thin, worn-out clothes. His eyes were wide as he stared longingly at the golden croissants and glistening cinnamon rolls, a world away from the cold pavement where he stood. Inside, the bakery owner, a kind-faced woman named Mrs. Thompson, noticed him from across the counter. It would have been easy to ignore him, to turn away and continue with her busy morning. After all, many people probably walked past him every day without a second glance. But there was something in the boy's quiet, hungry eyes that pulled at her heartstrings. She felt a connection, a pang of empathy that she couldn't ignore. Putting down the tray of muffins she was arranging, she wiped her hands on her apron and walked to the door. She opened it, letting a wave of warm, sweet-scented air spill onto the street. With a gentle voice, she called him inside. The boy hesitated for a moment, surprised, but the warmth in her smile was too inviting to resist. He cautiously stepped into the bakery, the bell above the door chiming softly. Mrs. Thompson didn't ask any questions. She simply led him to a small table in the corner, away from the other customers, and handed him a warm, fluffy blueberry muffin and a steaming cup of hot cocoa. The boy's eyes lit up with a mixture of overwhelming gratitude and sheer disbelief. He took the muffin with trembling hands, as if it were the most precious thing in the world. As he took his first bite, a small, genuine smile spread across his face. For the first time that week, he felt safe, seen, and cared for. But Mrs. Thompson's kindness didn't stop with a single act. Over the next few days, she saw the boy again, always standing outside, always looking hungry. She learned that he came from a struggling family, where breakfast was a luxury and lunch was often missed. Her heart went out to him. So, she began a quiet, unspoken ritual. Every morning, she would set aside a few pastries just for him, making sure he always had something to eat before school. She never made a big deal out of it. It was just a simple, consistent gesture of compassion. As the weeks went by, a beautiful and unexpected bond began to grow between the older woman and the young boy. He started to feel comfortable in the bakery, no longer a stranger looking in from the outside. He began arriving a little earlier each day, not just for the food, but for the sense of belonging he found there. Soon, the boy started helping out after school. At first, it was small things, like sweeping the floor or wiping down tables. But Mrs. Thompson saw a spark of curiosity and eagerness in him. She started teaching him how to knead dough, how to decorate cakes, and how to tell when the bread was perfectly baked just by its smell. He soaked it all up like a sponge, his hands, once cold and empty, now busy and purposeful. In mentoring the boy, Mrs. Thompson found a new sense of joy and purpose herself. He reminded her of her own childhood, of the struggle she had faced, and the kindness someone had once shown her. She wasn't just teaching him a trade, she was passing on a legacy of hope. She watched him transform from a shy, withdrawn child into a confident, bright young man with a passion for baking. Months later, on a day that seemed just like any other, the boy surprised her. He presented her with a small, hand-painted card. On the front was a drawing of the bakery, with a bright smiling sun overhead. Inside, in a child's careful handwriting, were the words, "You didn't just feed me. You taught me to believe in myself." Reading those words, Mrs. Thompson's eyes filled with tears. She realized that her simple act of kindness had done more than just fill an empty stomach. It had nourished a soul. It had sparked a dream. Two lives, once touched by struggle and loneliness, had been forever transformed. Her life was enriched with the joy of giving, and his was set on a new path, filled with confidence and hope. This story is a powerful reminder that sometimes the smallest act of kindness can have the biggest impact. A warm muffin, a simple smile, a helping hand. These things might seem insignificant to us, but to the person receiving them, they can mean everything. True generosity isn't just about giving things. It's about giving a piece of your heart. It's about seeing another person's humanity and choosing to connect instead of turning away. That single act of compassion from Mrs. Thompson didn't just change one life, it changed two. It created ripples of goodness that would last a lifetime, proving that when we choose kindness, we not only lift others up, but we also elevate ourselves. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that inspires.